What I did want to talk about today, just briefly with all of you, is what we're doing as a state on AI. So we've had lots of conversations with the governor as part of our overall economic development planning. And we in Massachusetts have been very successful from an economic standpoint and in many ways. We are a $750 billion economy. We've led in so many different innovations in so many different industries. And thinking about our future, we've looked a lot at new technologies and especially at AI. The conversation we've had with the governor and with all of our cabinet and all of the different folks in legislature is that this is not a fad. This isn't like one of those things that's going to go away and it's like the thing du jour. AI is a transformative, powerful new technology that is going to change fundamentally everything we do, how we work, how we live, how we solve big problems. Many, many states and many other countries are also looking at AI, and they've decided to play defense. They've said, oh, we're scared of AI. It's going to take away jobs. It's going to, create all kinds of, problems. We're going to try to push it under a rug and try to control it and regulate it. And this conversation we've had with the governor explicitly is to say, what do we want to do in our state? And of course, we want to make sure we use, AI in good and ethical ways. But that is what we do in Massachusetts. We have a history of inventing, innovating, using technologies for good. I was at the JFK Library with John, and we were talking about, JFK and his moonshot. We don't do things because they're easy here. We do things because they're hard and because they're important for the world. And so here, the governor said, we're not playing defense. We're going to play offense. How are we in Massachusetts going to lead? And how are we going to accelerate the development of AI and use it to solve big, important problems to help the planet and help everyone in the country and the world? So we started an AI task force. We have kicked off a couple months ago. The task force is not a forever task force. It's got a limited time. We're going to end the task force this fall, and it has an explicit goals. We have 25 people from around the state, including Jeremy Wertheimer, including Patricia Gelly from the C10 Labs, including people from all kinds of companies, Google and Mass General Brigham and Fidelity and all kinds of different startups, investors, and also we have legislators and we have folks from the labor perspective and from academia. So the task force is kicked off, and the first phase we did was saying, okay, let's think about what are the biggest problems we face and what are the places that we lead in Massachusetts. So we did a whole series of deep dives on how do we use AI to solve problems in life sciences, in hospitals and healthcare, in financial services, in education, in climate tech, in robotics. So there's a whole bunch of sector-specific deep dives. And then right now, we're just kicking off the second phase around horizontal topics, which is that across every sector and every type of AI, what are the needs that we have to make sure that we can lead here? What's the infrastructure needs? What are the frameworks that we need to have in terms of guidelines? What kind of talent and workforce and training do we need? So that's now just kicking off. At the end of this session, this AI task force work, we are going to be presenting to the governor specific actionable recommendations. This is not some exercise to check the box. This is not some academic paper we're going to send on a shelf. These are going to be specific recommendations, and we have money. So we've proposed in our economic development bill a $100 million just for AI for all of these ideas. And on top of that, we've proposed $1 billion for life sciences and healthcare. A lot of that should probably go to AI in those areas, and another $1 billion for climate tech. And a lot of that should probably go to AI-related projects. And so we're going to have a pool of money, hopefully, when the legislature passes this bill. And we're going to need these recommendations to figure out how we can best deploy the money. So if you all have ideas, please let us know. And most of all, for all the startups who are here, stay here in Massachusetts. We want to help you lead and succeed. And I am confident there's going to be a next generation of Googles, of Facebooks, of Microsofts coming out of this revolution. This is early days. We are in 1995 in the internet. We want you to start here and stay here and scale here and become global leaders. And we want to do everything we can to support you from here in the state. Gabby from my team is here. Raise your hand, Gabby. I don't know if Ian's here either, but Gabby's here. You should find her. And I said this last night, so I'll say it again. We are a team here in Massachusetts. We work across the public and private sector. And in the public sector, in my job, I'm a business person. So I'm used to being maniacally focused on the customer and what they need and how to serve them. Well, now I'm in government, but I still have a customer. The part of the public that I serve and that Gabby serves is all of you. You are my customer. You are our customer. If we help you succeed, we will be wildly successful as a state. And so I say to the governor all the time, if I'm a startup, if I'm any of these awesome startups that are using AI for heart disease and AI for life sciences and AI for virtual reality, I don't think any of you wake up every morning and say, oh, you know what? Today I'm going to think about how to help Massachusetts. If you're doing that, you should not be in a startup. That's not your job. You're waking up every day saying, how can I develop better product market fit? How can I figure out how to, scale my customers? How can I hire the best talent? Your job is to focus on your business. My job is to serve you and make sure that the best thing for your business is to be here in our state and to partner and support you. So let us know what you need. Stay in our state, be on Team Massachusetts, and let's help you go kick ass and do great things. So we're very, very grateful for all of you. I've been told not to swear, so I apologize for that. But I can't help it. It's my startup background. But I'm excited to see all of it. The other one regret I have is I was a big angel investor before taking this job. Now in this job, I can't angel invest anymore because of conflict. But everyone who's here who is an angel investor, you should invest in these startups. These are going to play out well. So anyways, thank you all so much.
I want to ask you a few questions. So raise your hand if you are proud that we have someone with this kind of background, this kind of passion, this kind of experience to be leading in the role that Secretary Yvonne Howe is.
It's kind.
I want to point out that it's very rare to have the convergence of experiences and passion. She's the right person at the right time. And, MIT was founded as a reaction to the Industrial Revolution, and you look how that worked out. There is an AI revolution going on, and we need leaders. And there are a lot of opportunities and a lot of challenges. And we're building this dance floor, this platform to do that. Now, Yvonne spoke at the last summit. She spoke at this one. If she speaks at the one in Davos, she gets a chia pet. So
just what
that's some incentive. So let me ask you, Yvonne, Newbar, who just gave the MIT graduation address, he used the term imagination in action. He played the Mission Impossible theme. He said, we need imagination in action. He didn't call me ahead of time to say he was going to use it. I actually wrote a Forbes column, and I wrote about what he had to say. What do you think of this idea about imagination in action? Does that resonate with the things that you're thinking about and you think this state needs?
Yeah, 100% yes. And actually, so I in my job, I meet with lots and lots of people across the state. And I always enjoy the meetings. I learn a lot. Probably Newbar might be, don't tell everybody else, he might be one of my favorite meetings I've had. Newbar is an incredible human and wicked smart, incredible life story of how he's, came to this country, studied at MIT, and then what he's done with Flagship and spawning all these companies like Moderna and everything else. And so one of my favorite conversations, so he and I talked about his reflections on Massachusetts, and it's on my list to listen to his speech, so I haven't yet, but Imagination in Action captures it. We talked about how in our state, we are not here to make a quick buck. We don't, we don't have investors, we don't have startups who are trying to just tweak something incrementally and, flip something and make a couple bucks. He said, what we're really good at is working on things that are super complicated and super hard and take a long time, like curing disease, like fighting climate change, like figuring out AI. And he said that we are also not just theoretical people, we are doers. So we like to figure out all the science and all the brilliance of that, and then figure out how do you apply it to problems and bring it to life and save people's lives and help people live better lives. The other thing he and I talked about a lot was the biggest advantage we have in Massachusetts is that we can be the constant startup, because we have 500,000 of the best and brightest talent and brains coming to our state every year to study. How do we make sure that we are constantly reinventing ourselves and hustling and hungry and curious and constantly being the startup? That is the biggest opportunity for our state, and that's why I love all of you being on Team Massachusetts. So no, I love imagination and action. It's what we've done in the past, and it's what we got to continue to do in the future.